Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I want to talk about Masquerade 2.0s. They're great. Overall, every single Masquerade 2.0 kit is a vast improvement over the original, and you love to see them. Although it is always great to see something that's completely new, it's also good when they take a beloved design and give it a boost and make a full-on 2.0. Yeah, they're great. So today I'm going to be giving you my list of what is basically a top 10 Masquerades that I would love to see 2.0 versions of. Now, you may have different ideas, and whatever your list would be, or different suggestions, things that maybe don't appear on my list today, of course you can leave those down in the comment section below, and I'm interested to hear what you guys might pick. Now, because this is going to be slightly subjective, there are some designs on here that I included because I particularly do like the design more. Like, for example, the Rick Diaz would be an example of one that could probably use a 2.0 as well, but I just personally don't like the design at all, so I'm not including it on my list here today. There is some subjectivity in there as to, I wanted to keep it basically around 10 suits, so I had to be a little bit picky and choosy about which ones I wanted to put on here. And I'm going to start off with actually the Masquerade GP series. I'm just going to lump these all into one pick, the GPO1, the GPO2, and the GPO3. It's technically 3 different kits, but I'm going to put them all as one just for the sake of trying to keep this as 10 picks. So the GP series, of course, all came out pretty early on in the Masquerade line, so it's been a long time since those came out. Honestly, they're probably not that bad kits on their own. There's definitely some improvements that could be made to the overall construction of them and also the proportions of them. If you take a look at the GPO1 Real Grade kit, for example, it's a beautiful looking kit. The proportions and design of it are really great. So if we were to get a new Masquerade of that, similar to like the styling that they did for the Real Grade, that would be amazing. And if they also did that for the GPO2 and the GPO3, and the GPO3 personally probably my favorite amongst them, but any of those would be great for 2.0 kits. Also, the Masquerade Ground Gundam, and this is another one that also has like some variants because the Ground Gundam, the EZ8, the Ground Gym, and also the Gym Sniper are all basically based around the same kit. So this is a great opportunity for Bandai to not only remake the classic Ground Gundam, but then plenty of opportunities for premium Bandai kits where they can make like the Ground Gym as a premium Bandai, and they can make like the gym-headed Ground Gundam as a premium Bandai kit or something like that, like they've done more recently with the high grade kits actually. Now, we'll also say the Ground Gundam Masquerade, also really not that bad of a Masquerade, the original 1.0. Not that bad considering its age, but of course there is plenty of room for improvement. If they were to make a 2.0, they could fix up the proportions a little bit, add a little bit more detail, and just kind of gimmicks with the internal frame of that, make the articulation of it. Well, the articulation of the original actually is pretty good. They could definitely improve that with a 2.0. Next one is going to be also from the same series, the Masquerade Goof Custom. This is one that I've talked about before as being such a disappointing kit because it's such a cool design, and the Masquerade, I just have always thought it was just kind of disappointing just because you have this really awesome weapon and you really can't do a whole lot with it. It's got some serious weight issues with the Gatling shield. Also, the hands are terrible on it. They just look really ugly, just bad hands on it. And just the overall design, I think, could be a lot better if they made it closer to the HG kit. So like the Ground Gundam, now that it has a Revive kit, and the Goof Custom HGUC kits. The HGUC kits currently are much better. It depends on kind of what you want, but I definitely prefer the HG kits over the old Masquerade kits there. But if we got Masquerade 2.0s of them, would be very appreciated. Now, similar to the Goof Custom, I do also want to include the Camphor. This is one that I honestly, personally don't have that much of a desire for a 2.0 for, because I think the 1.0 Camphor is really not that bad at all. Again, considering its age, it's actually quite nice, and I like the proportions of it for me personally, but this is one that I know a lot of you guys have said. I've heard this one all the time, that people want a 2.0 Camphor. Just like with the Goof Custom and the Ground Gundam, like it's one of these where it really doesn't necessarily need it, and the old kits really aren't that bad, but there of course is plenty of room for improvements if they were to make a 2.0. They could make it a lot more gimmicky with the different weapons and everything with this. They also might adjust some of the proportions and everything. Some of the color separation on it I'm sure would be better, so the part separation and details, stuff like that. Next one would be the God Gundam or the Master Gundam. Personally, I prefer the Master Gundam between the two. I don't think that they would ever make a Masquerade 2.0 Master Gundam, although I would love it. I think the God Gundam is much more likely, so that's what we'll go with here. for this list purposes. But the God Gundam, we recently saw the high resolution God Gundam, which was a great example of a much more detailed, much more articulated 1/100 scale Gundam. While it's not a Master Grade, it's sort of like a Master Grade 2.0, and that kit was great. Based on everything I've heard about it, I've not built it, but you know, as far as I've heard, that kit was very nice. I personally didn't really like the way that they proportioned that kit. I would like to see it a little bit more. If they were to make a 2.0, I would like to see it a little bit more of in the traditional proportions of it, not quite as bulky. But considering that it's a fighting, like melee fighting, kung fu fighting mobile suit, I think it would definitely benefit from a new 2.0 with a nice new frame that it can really take advantage of to do all these really cool dynamic fighting poses. Next one would be the Master Grade Cubile, which is one that I don't really see people mentioning. Every time I hear people talking about like Master Grade 2.0 kits they would like to see, I don't see the Cubile come up all that often, but the Cubile is one that's a really wild design, and it's just kind of one of those kits that it does, honestly, the 1.0 does what it needs to do, but I think a 2.0 of it would be really cool just because they could actually make it do a lot more. Again, kind of similar to like what they did with the HG kit. The HG Revive kit was very nice. It's just a lot more fun to play with than like the old HG. And it's be a kind of a similar situation with the Master Grades. Now, the original Master Grade basically does what it needs to do, but I think it could do a lot more and could be a lot more fun and a lot more exciting if you had just a little bit more detail in there. I know it's not a super detailed design just because it's meant to have these big, like, wide open curved surfaces everywhere on it. But just imagine a nice 1/100 scale Master Grade 2.0 Cubile where instead of just like standing there or doing like a really simple pose, you could actually have it doing like some really super dynamic poses, and it would look great. I think it would look really beautiful. The next one here, we're going to be talking about the Master Grade Zaku I. The Master Grade Zaku I. I don't know why we don't have a Master Grade 2.0 of this to this point. We have the Master Grade 2.0 Zaku II. We also have the 2.0 Goof. We also have a 2.0 Gelgoog. We also have the 1.5 version of the Dom, hopefully coming at some point, maybe. But for whatever reason, the neglected little brother of the Zaku I, still no 2.0 of that. So hopefully someday we will get a 2.0, and I imagine that will come eventually, but it's just kind of a matter of when. And obviously with it being a Zaku, just like with the Zaku II, there's a million different variants of it out there, so it's something that Bandai can milk for P-Bandai variants, which is something that they definitely love to do, and it's a great incentive for them to make a 2.0 if they know that they can get a lot of variant releases out of it as premium Bandai kits. And speaking of variants, this next one is a variant of the Zaku II, is the Masquerade Zaku Ii F2. This is personally my favorite version of the Zaku II. I love the F2 design, but unfortunately there is just still only the 1.0 Master Grade of this, even though the regular Zaku II and a couple different variants of that have gotten a 2.0 release. They didn't adapt the 2.0 frame for making a F2 2.0 kit, unfortunately, yes. So hopefully they'll do that. This is one that does have at least one variant in that they've got like the regular colors and then they've got the EFSF color version, which they could definitely make the Bandai version of that. But I love the Zaku II F2. The HGUC kit is really, really good. It's actually one of the best HG Zaku kits I think that you can get, in my opinion. But it would be really nice to have a nice 2.0 version of that in the Master Grade line. And then keeping it with the 1 Year War for the last couple here, I also included the Gym Custom. Now the Gym Custom is another one that is kind of, there's a few different Master Grade kits that are kind of based around the Gym Custom, and I just wanted to include the Gym Custom basically because it's probably my favorite among the different designs that are kind of, again, based around the same kit, and that it's like multiple kits that are sharing some of the same runners for them. The Gym Custom is just a really cool design, and just another one where it's a really cool design that came out during a time when the Master Grade line was still pretty early, so the proportions could be a little bit nicer, especially when we've seen stuff like more recently with the Gym Sniper 2, the Gym Sniper Custom, the Gym Command, this like newer line of Master Grade Gym variants. If they were to make a new Gym Custom based off of that same Gundam 2.0 frame, I think that would be very nice. And that brings us to the last one, which is going to be none other than the RX-78-2 Gundam Verka. Now, of course, there is already a 2.0 and a 3.0 of the RX-78-2 Gundam, but I'm just speaking about the Verka. The Verka is a little bit different design, and it's a really nice design, but it's a kind of dated kit. Now, this is another one where actually the ARC-72 Verka, not that bad of a kit, but could it be a lot better with a 2.0? Yes, definitely. And it's such a cool design. I would love if we got like a new, if they just like adapted this, again, just basing it off the Gundam 2.0 frame, I think could work perfectly well just as a 2.0. And considering that this kit came out in 2002, next year would be the 20th anniversary of this release, and it's also being like the very first Master Grade Verka. So 20 years of Master Grade Verka, the 20th anniversary of this particular kit, next year would be a perfect time for Bandai to make a 2.0 of the ARC-72 Verka. And as we all know, Bandai loves making variants of the ARC-72. They've got no problem making more variants of the original Gundam, and personally I don't have a problem with it either, because I always enjoy building a good ARC-78 stew. I certainly wouldn't complain about having another one, and especially if it's an upgraded, newly revitalized, completely redone from the ground up, or honestly even if it's using the Gundam 2.0 frame, which is also like 10 years old or something, more than 10 years old possibly at this point anyway. But a new version of the ARC-72 Verka would be very cool, I think. But what do you guys think? Let me know your picks down in the comment section below. I'm sure some of you will disagree with some of my picks. I'm sure some of you will have other ideas that I didn't include on my list, but I'm looking forward to hearing all your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, you guys know you can check out all the different Master Grade kits and High Grade kits and all the other kits that we've got in stock there at USA Gundam Store. The link and the coupon code will be down in the video description for you guys to check out. So thank you to them for making this video possible. Thank you guys for the support, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Have a great day. Bye guys.